Israeli forces detain another aid ship heading to Gaza with dozens on board, including an Ohio University professor. Plus,
my family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump.
Former FBI Director James Comey pleads not guilty to criminal charges. This comes after President Trump called for the Justice Department to go after Comey. And in sports, Ohio football is on a bye week. Take a look at where they're at halfway through the season. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Morgan Anderson. Welcome to Newswatch. An Ohio University professor is one of dozens on board a ship delivering aid to Gaza, intercepted by Israeli forces. Tom Hayes is an associate professor in OU School of Film and also a documentary filmmaker. He was a media volunteer on the Conscience, a boat that was part of the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. The Conscience was carrying a crew of journalists and medical professionals from 25 countries, aiming to challenge Israel's siege of Gaza and bring aid to the region. The coalition says the boat was, quote, pirated earlier this morning. Ohio University faculty and staff for justice in Palestine are joining the coalition to demand an end to Israel's blockage of Gaza. Just hours ago, Governor Mike DeWine signed an executive order requiring all retailers to stop selling intoxicating hemp products like edibles. These products contain compounds like Delta-8 THC and Delta-9 THC and can be found in gas stations, vape shops, and convenience stores. DeWine says, unlike marijuana, intoxicating hemp products aren't regulated as strongly, meaning children can get access to them.
For intoxicating hemp, this product has no restrictions on where it can be sold or who can buy it. Intoxicating hemp has no required regulatory testing at all, and is sold in packages enticing to children, many times mimicking the packaging of common candies.
The ban goes into effect Tuesday, giving retailers time to remove those products from their shelves. If they refuse, they could be fined $500 per day. Well, domestic violence deaths are surging in Ohio. That's what a new report from the Ohio Domestic Violence Network shows. The report found a 37% increase in deaths year over year. Between July 2024 and June of this year, ODVN reported more than 150 deaths. ODVN officials say attackers are acting more aggressively and quickly, with incidents of violence becoming more severe. Now, we have a lot more to get to, but first, we're going to hand it on over to lead forecaster Isabel Isco with this week's forecast. Isabel, what's it looking like? Cool, calm, collected? What's it seeming like?
You know, it's feeling a little bit more like fall after we've had these kind of summer-like weeks these past few weeks. But other than that, in the region, we've had these temperatures in those mid-60s since about last night. We haven't strayed from those 60s here in Athens since about 24 hours ago. We had that rain move its way through yesterday, and then we had that moisture kind of sitting over our area, keeping in any of that heat, and that trailed into this morning. And then as we headed into the afternoon, we had that strong wind that really pushed out any of that moisture, kind of kept our temperatures on that cooler side for today, made it feel a lot more like fall. Like I said, that moisture that we had that moved its way through, this cold front that's keeping our temperatures a little bit of that cool down, making it feel like fall once again here in southeast Ohio, and that'll continue to stay in our area as this pretty strong high pressure system sticks around. As I said on that local radar, not very much going on there, and that is going to be continuing as we head into the rest of the week. We're seeing those temperatures in those mid-60s right now. Lancaster 67, Athens 66, and we're going to be seeing that wind at 5 miles per hour. Even earlier in the day, it was a little bit stronger, seeing gusts at 24 miles per hour, really pushing out any of that moisture. And we're going to be continuing to see that wind kind of sticking around, giving us some more cool nights. But other than that, we're going to be seeing those temperatures stay pretty stagnant heading into the rest of the week, and we'll be seeing those fall-like temperatures sticking around. I'll be talking about that in my full forecast. Let's take it back over to Morgan.
Thanks, Isabel. Former FBI Director James Comey pleads not guilty to 2 criminal charges related to his 2020 congressional testimony. The arraignment follows public statements from President Donald Trump calling for Comey and others to be prosecuted. Michael Yoshida reports on today's courtroom proceedings.
Former FBI Director James Comey pleaded not guilty Wednesday to charges of providing false statements and obstructing a congressional proceeding. He's accused of lying to Congress in 2020 when he was asked about leaks of classified information. The former top cop and vocal critic of President Donald Trump previously proclaimed his innocence in a brief video.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump.
Trump fired Comey in 2017 over the FBI's investigation into Russian election meddling. More recently, in a September social media post addressed to Attorney General Pam Bondi, the president openly called for the Justice Department to go after Comey and other political enemies. Shortly after that post, Trump appointed Lindsay Halligan, a White House aide who's never been a prosecutor, as an interim U.S. attorney. Her predecessor resigned following continued pressure to bring criminal charges against Comey and another Trump enemy. Days after her appointment, Halligan presented the case to a grand jury, resulting in Comey's indictment.
They are systematically going after their political enemies.
We are applying the law equally to everybody, and that means rooting out corruption.
Comey's lawyers plan to ask the judge to throw out the charges, claiming among other things that, quote, this prosecution was brought by President Trump. Arguments are set to be heard in November and December, and if the case moves forward, a trial date is set for January 5th. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
It's day 8 of the government shutdown, and Trump is threatening to make the impact permanent. He continues to call for mass layoffs and suggests he may withhold back pay from some federal employees when the shutdown ends. Julia Benbrook is at the White House with details.
While it is typical to see some government workers furloughed during a government shutdown, the White House is looking to make the impact of this lapse in funding more permanent. The threat of mass firings looms large, and while speaking in the Oval Office this week, President Donald Trump said that he would soon announce which government programs he intends to eliminate amid the funding standoff.
We'll be announcing it pretty soon, but we have a lot of things that we're going to eliminate and permanently eliminate.
He also said he is considering not giving back pay to all federal employees once the government shutdown ends. In his remarks, Trump offered no clarity about which workers he might not protect, but added there are, quote, some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of.
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. I can tell you this, the Democrats have put a lot of people in great risk and jeopardy, but it really depends on who you're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people.
That move would be a remarkable break from precedent. And it's not just Democrats pushing against it. Several top GOP leaders have distanced themselves from Trump's idea, as they've made it clear they support back pay for government workers. An increasing number of Republican lawmakers have also acknowledged the potential political perils of implementing mass layoffs of federal workers at this time. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
From the government shutdown, officials say they are furloughing nearly 1,000 staffers. This move comes as part of the IRS's new shutdown contingency plan. Previously, the IRS said its entire workforce would stay on the job because of funds from the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act. But the original plan only called for that to cover the initial 5 business days. The updated contingency could be tweaked to address what the agency describes as additional challenges. The IRS notes the new staffing levels are expected to stay in effect through April. Coming up, indicators show the economy is growing, but consumers are having doubts. And experts share easy things you can do to create a safe sleeping environment for your baby.
Fall-like temperatures are looking like they're here to stay. I'll be talking about that next on Newswatch.
On Secrets of the Dead.
The Colosseum is the most famous monument in the Roman world.
An excavation sheds new light on the gladiator battles once held inside its walls.
The sport is entirely different than we've been led to believe.
And on the Roman Empire itself.
Inside the games is a microcosm of the reality of the world order. Rome is in charge.
The rise and fall of the Colosseum on Secrets of the Dead.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
a revolution.
That, for me, is so exciting.
What hedge funds will tell you is this is just creative destruction in capitalism.
Communities are misinformed and uninformed, and that's really dangerous.
The Denver Post has launched a revolt against its owner, New York-based hedge fund Alden Global Capital.
It was not just about the business of newspapers, it was about what was at stake for our democracy.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
You know, it makes me so excited to hear, Isabel, you said fall-like weather.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I felt it. Like, I could actually walk around and wear long sleeves and not feel like I'm sweating.
And wear, like, jeans, like a cute outfit that it's not like I'm still stretching those summer outfits to keep going. It's October. I can finally, like, dress like it.
Yes, it's not Ohio weather. But so I can't help but wonder. It rained all day yesterday and a little bit before that. But before that, we were in signs of a drought and in some parts, a drought. I mean, this one extreme to the next.
Yeah, we've had that clearing kind of move its way through as we saw today, and that will be continuing. So that rain that we got yesterday, about 2 inches, and as we head into today and into the rest of the week, we'll be back into those drier conditions. We did see on the drought monitor last week that we are still in that D0 drought for Athens County. There is a good chance that tomorrow morning that'll be clearing out, but after that we'll be continuing to see these drier conditions. So there is a good chance that we could be seeing some more drought-like conditions as we head into the rest of the week. Currently in Athens, like I said, 66 degrees. We're having that wind still continuing at 5 miles per hour. We're going to be seeing that humidity, that 41%, that's pretty low, and that is going to continue to stay low. We are having that moisture really getting pushed out of our area from this high pressure system, and that'll be continuing as we see throughout the week, giving us those drier conditions, some cooler nights, and some more fall-like temperature. We're going to be seeing that tonight, that temperature low of 39, really feeling like a cool one. So if you are heading out after that sun sets at about 7, it'll be cooling down pretty drastically. So you're going to be needing to continue to bundle up as we head into the night with those mostly clear skies, that temperature low of 39. We're going to be seeing that tomorrow morning that we're going to be continuing to have this clearing, and there isn't going to be very much going to be happening in Ohio. We're having that rest of the rain kind of push off to the East Coast. We're going to be seeing 24 hours ahead this time tomorrow, continuing to have about the same weather as we had today, kind of that pretty stagnant 60-degree temperatures all throughout the day, and then cool down quite a bit as we head into the night with none of that moisture sticking around to give us a little bit of that padding as we head into those nighttime temperatures. So we're going to be seeing tomorrow that temperature high of 66, sunny skies, going to be able to enjoy outside, really dress for fall. And as we head into the nighttime temperatures of 37, going to be quite a chilly one. There are even some areas that are going to be experiencing some frost as we head deeper into West Virginia. But here in Southeast Ohio and on that West Virginia border, we're going to be still staying in those about mid-30s for those overnight temperatures. We're going to be seeing that for the 36 hours ahead, that high pressure system really sticking off to New York and continuing to not really have very much going on with that any kind of weather happening in Southeast Ohio. We're going to be staying pretty stagnant here for going into the weekend and even past that. As we head into those temperature outlooks, we're looking at about the 8 to 10 day range here, that these are our above average temperatures. As we head closer to Texas, that is whenever we're well above those average temperatures. And as we're kind of radiating off, we're seeing that Southeast Ohio is in that yellow. We're going to be just above average for these next 7 days. We're going to be seeing those temperatures in those about low 70s. Right now we should be in those high 60s like we will be tomorrow, but for the rest of the week, we're just seeing that clearing I was talking about. And then once those clouds kind of move their way back in, we're going to be seeing those low temperatures kind of making their way back up. So for these next few days, it is going to be feeling a lot like fall.
Thanks, Isabel. New data shows the economy is still growing, but consumers, they aren't buying it. And spending habits may provide some hidden insight into where things may be going. Ivan Rodriguez has the details on the latest economic indicators.
While some indicators say the U.S. economy is slowing, recent data shows it's still growing. Consumer spending remains strong, and the unemployment rate isn't setting off alarm bells. But changes in how people and businesses spend and invest their money could be previews for what's to come. By traditional measures, the U.S. economy, even with its sticky inflation and softening labor market, is stable.
They're not great. They could definitely be better. They could definitely be worse.
Despite the sustained pressure of high prices shaking consumer confidence, Americans are also still spending. But there is a widening spending gap between high and low income consumers, and signs revealing how people are spending their money may be changing.
We've delayed car purchases some. Appliances, electronics, we've slowed down on that. Travel, we've slowed down on that.
Virginia Tech economics professor Jadrian Wooten points to less obvious indicators of economic discomfort, like cardboard box manufacturing, which is down 9% in 2025 amid U.S. factory closures and cutbacks.
If cardboard box manufacturers were not making as many boxes, that meant that stores were not ordering as many boxes because they didn't anticipate selling as many products in the future.
This week, the price of gold surged past $4,000 per ounce, another possible red flag for the state of affairs.
People are trying to invest money in something that they feel is going to be really stable. And a lot of people do run to gold whenever the markets are a little bit uncertain.
Wooten says even though many are worried about what lies ahead, the health of the U.S. economy relies on its consumers.
If a lot of people think a recession is coming, they're going to pull back on spending. And one of the problems with that is when they pull back on spending, that's actually what ends up causing the recession to happen.
Another non-scientific indicator experts point to is movie ticket sales. Since the Great Depression, people have sought escape through the movies as an affordable way to get entertainment. Sometimes when box office sales go up, it's a sign the economy is headed down. But some experts say it could also be a sign that Hollywood is putting out movies people really want to see. In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
College student athletes and staff could soon be allowed to bet on professional sports. Today, the NCAA's Division I committee adopted a proposal changing the rules of sports betting. The change must be approved by all 3 NCAA divisions, and at the end of the month, Divisions 2 and 3 are expected to consider the proposal. If approved, the rule change will go into effect on November 1st. Despite this proposal, the NCAA's current policy prohibiting betting on college sports remains in place. Johnson & Johnson is set to pay $966 million in its latest talcum powder lawsuit. This comes after the company was found liable in a lawsuit claiming its baby powder products cause cancer. The family of a woman diagnosed with a rare cancer sued Johnson & Johnson after she died, claiming the cancer was caused by the powder. The family alleged that the company's powder was contaminated with asbestos, a carcinogen, which Johnson & Johnson has denied. The company stopped selling the powder 2 years ago after being hit with tens of thousands of lawsuits. Johnson & Johnson says it plans to appeal the verdict. Unsafe sleep environments are a leading cause of death for young children, but experts say 3 simple things can reduce a sleeping baby's risk. Mandy Gaither explains how remembering the ABCs of sleep can help keep babies safe.
Keeping babies safe isn't just a day job. At night, some parents may unknowingly be putting their child at risk.
Hearing the screams and cries of a parent who has lost their child while they were sleeping is really awful, and it really never leaves you.
In 2022, there were about 3,700 sudden unexpected infant deaths in the U.S., more than 1,500 from sudden infant death syndrome, more than 1,100 from unknown causes, and more than 1,000 deaths from accidental suffocation and strangulation in bed. That's why knowing how to keep babies safe is critical, says Dr. Sarah Lazarus with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
We recommend the ABCs of safe sleep.
A is for alone. Babies should always sleep by themselves in their crib or bassinet. Sharing a bed or napping on the couch puts a baby at risk of suffocation. B stands for back. An infant should always be placed flat on their back on a firm surface. Their neck muscles aren't strong enough to prevent suffocation if they sleep on their stomach. And finally, C is for clear. The crib should be void of blankets, toys, bumper pads, and any other items. The mattress should be firm and covered only in a fitted sheet.
The clearer the crib is, the safer it is for your infant.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, next in sports, 6 games down, 6 more to go for the Bobcats. But first, it's time for the bye week. Take a look at where the national media has Ohio heading for bowl season and more when we return.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
Ohio University is the license holder for WOUB Public Media. The Ohio University Board of Trustees is fiscally responsible for the university and its activities. The trustees will hold their next meeting on Thursday, October 16th and Friday, October 17th on the Athens, Ohio campus of Ohio University. The members of the board are charged with the responsibility to be accountable to the institution's mission and cultural heritage, the transcendent values and principles that guide and shape higher education in the public interest, as well as the legitimate and relevant interests of the institution's various constituencies. Per Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22, meetings of the University Board of Trustees are open to the public, although some portions may be held in closed executive session. More information about the Board of Trustees, including the members, future meeting dates and locations, minutes of past meetings, or to sign up to receive notification of the posting of meeting materials, go online to woub.org and click on the About WOUB tab.
In some ways, Portsmouth was one of the last small cities to field a team and get a franchise. What was kind of extraordinary about Portsmouth was it was able to field an incredible team for a brief moment in the sun. A little sweet spot that almost was sweet enough to get them a national championship. But they put together the team that ultimately did win the championship in 1935 in Detroit.
I am Grant Kiefer. Now, we are halfway through the football season. It happened quick. Ohio football sits at 3-3, which is a little disappointing given how they started, but now is a good time to reset, get ready for this home stretch. That includes getting ready for a 4th straight bowl game. More and more outlets are starting to come out with their bowl projections, and look, there's a good chance none of these happen. No one thought Ohio would win the MAC and make the Cure Bowl this time last year. But if Ohio keeps their current pace, you're seeing a lot of Potato Bowl, a game above Sports Bowl projection against Minnesota, who also happens to be the Power 4 team Ohio has the most wins against all time. And then you've got a Myrtle Beach Bowl rematch against JSU on there. All right, coming out of the weekend, Ohio volleyball matched their longest losing streak in a season since 2021 at 11 games. And it's been a rough one so far for interim head coach Kenzie Brinkman's group. But after last night, you can grab that streak, throw it out, as the Bobcats ended it in style. It was a 3-set sweep of Kent State last night, and this one meant more for a certain Bobcat. Kendall White spent her first 3 seasons with the Golden Flashes and led the charge for the victory last night. Take a look at that stat line: 29 assists, 9 digs, and then 2 aces. Talk about a revenge game. Bobcats will look to create some momentum this weekend against Miami. It may not feel like it with all the football talk happening right now, but college basketball season's less than a month away. More and more tip-off times plus network announcements are rolling in for Ohio. The Louisville game is a historic one. Let me go ahead and show you here. It may not seem like much that a regular season game is tipping off at noon on a Saturday, but Ohio's game against the Cardinals will be on the CW, which is the first time since 2010 NCAA tournament that you could turn on a television and with an antenna from anywhere in the country see the Bobcats on over the air. All right, Ohio soccer, very interesting case this year. They're competing in every game, but can't seem to convert draws in the wins. But they'll get a chance to right the ship tomorrow at Kent State. Things are going to need to change quickly, though, for a chance at postseason play. Celeste Sloman, her work has had her work cut out for her, but she's still among the best goalkeepers in the MAC this season. So yet another year that the Bobcats rank at the bottom half of scoring in the conference. Ohio has not scored more than 1 goal in a game since August 28th. They've drawn 1-1 4 separate times, also lost 1-0 4 times as well. All right, Ohio has picked to finish 3rd in the conference in the coaches poll. They aren't near that right now, as you can see on your screen. You've got your usual suspects at the top with Western Michigan and Buffalo, but Ohio has some work to do over these final 3 weeks to work their way back up into the top 6. All right, well, Ohio football has the bye week. We've still got plenty of other teams and fall teams in action this weekend. Go ahead and check out @Bobcat Showcase on X, Facebook, and Instagram for all Ohio Bobcat content.
Well, still ahead, the Mega Millions jackpot reaches one of the highest amounts in its history. Without a winner, there's still time to grab your ticket before this week's drawing. We'll be right back after the break, but until then, here's a look at what's coming up on your public television station.
Hello, I'm Bob Ross.
We were sitting on an incredible story, and my first thought was, why are we not telling this?
It's just amazing. You get to see the studio and all the original artifacts.
It's like any other room until you know the story. Bob Ross painted here. Suddenly, this space becomes magical.
This is a great new destination for Bob Ross fans all over.
The Bob Ross experience is a home for Bob Ross.
Any Bob fan would love it.
Saturday at 9 on WOUB.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be an artist. A big reason for this? My teachers.
Look at you! You're so good!
Art in school is what made me want to get to school every day.
I've had such a good time doing this with you.
I just think joy has got to be a part of education.
You ready for class?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Friday at 10 on WOUB.
CasualWorks was not designed, created, or maintained by people who studied disability. They're people who studied opportunity. If a person has very limited movement and can make little teeny circles, there's a place for you. The idea of workers contorting themselves to a job is one business model. Our business model is that the job responds to the worker.
The Cartober fundraising drive is on. Help give back this month by donating your used car, truck, RV, or boat to our station. Donating is easy and it's tax deductible. Just call this toll-free number, schedule your free pickup, we'll tow it and give you a donation receipt. Can't donate a car? Spread the word by telling your friends or family. Learn more by calling this toll-free number or visiting us online.
Original paintings by the late TV host Bob Ross are going to be auctioned off to raise money for public television. Auction House Bonham says 30 of Ross's paintings will be sold at various auctions. The first, set for November 11th, will feature these two pieces, Home in the Valley and Winter's Peace. Funds raised will support public television after the recent federal funding cuts. Ross's show, The Joy of Painting, aired for more than a decade on PBS in the 1980s and 90s. And switching gears, the Mega Millions jackpot grows to an estimated $575 million. That's after no one matched all 6 numbers in last night's drawing. The jackpot has been rolling over since the last winner back in June, but if there's a winner in Friday night's drawing, they'll have a cash option worth more than $264 million, and that marks the 11th largest jackpot in Mega Millions history.
Taking a look at tonight, after the sun sets here very shortly, we'll be getting down into those low temperatures of 39 degrees. Those clear skies continuing into tonight and into tomorrow. We'll be seeing these next few days of some clear sunny skies. Those temperatures rising back up into those low 70s as we head into the weekend. And then once those clouds start to roll back in again, we'll be having those temperature lows back into those 40s.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. For all of us here, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.